I'm gonna be ranking and appraising every Elden Ring Nightreign Nightfarer to see if they're any good. These are gonna be my honest opinions, so be ready.
Let's get to it.
Starting off is Wylder. Y'all already know, he's the GOAT. Wylder is a character from mainline offense. He inhabits a simple strength build and is meant for anyone wanting a traditional swordsman to choose. He has a grapple hook to either travel faster or pull enemies in, and his ultimate consists of a huge damaging explosion, staggering and damaging enemies. His passive ability is as described to cheat death, to give him a better chance to survive as the primary carry. Wylder is ultimately the carry of the team. He goes in first, starts the fight with luring the enemy for him to damage, while the allies can stay back and damage from a distance, or at least keep the enemy distracted. To put it simply, he's just your traditional knight with a greatsword, dealing a bunch of damage while being semi-tanky. He is just by far the simplest and easiest character to pilot, while being equally as effective. So I'm going to go and put him in S tier. Generally nothing short of a perfect knight for her to go with. Guardian, the Eagle. Guardian is a tank slash support heavy character, meant to lure enemies in, taking all the damage and mitigating said damage from the other Nightfarers. His skill consists of a warbone to be drawn out, staggering enemies, leaving a big opening for your teammates to come in and fight. His ultimate leaps him in the air to lunge into the ground, dealing huge damage while staying down, essentially aura farming, to make nearby allies immune to damage and basically healing, also immediately resurrecting near-death allies. His passive ability, when activated by blocking and dodging, puts Guardian in a stance that allows him to block more efficiently, with the hits taken will cost less stamina, allowing him to tank even more hits for the team. So he's a heavy tank slash support to deviate damage to teammates away, and protect them as much as possible, hence his name Guardian. So I'm gonna put him A tier. Next up is Ironeye. He is an archer, heavy zoner who stays back and shoots at the enemy while they are distracted by the other Nightfarers. His skill makes him draw a knife out to dash at the enemy, dealing decent damage. And his ultimate consists of using a large bow to shoot out a powerful arrow, which has infinite distance going at a straight line, passing through all enemies at once. Passive allows him to get more items as well. Ironeye has one of, if not the best DPS in the game if utilized properly. His ability to just stand back and shoot gives him the high DPS. He's a bunch of fun to use, honestly. Being able to just stand back and keep shooting makes him incredibly efficient at dealing passive damage to enemies, while they are focused on the more heavy carries of the team. Though you have to be very strategic when using him, so honestly I'll put him in A tier, right below Guardian. I think that's it, that's good. Up and coming is Duchess. Duchess is an agility based character designed to move and hit quickly in battle. She inhabits a very bloodborne fighting style, being very agile while also tactical, and she is the Firekeeper from Dark Souls 3, so there's that. Her skill allows her to reapply all of the damage she has done to an enemy, whether it be status ailment buildup or damage done in the past 3 seconds. Her ultimate causes her and nearby allies to be completely invisible for 10 seconds, leaving her a great opportunity to resurrect near-death allies. She consists of a very smooth dodge, adding to her agility, which also by her passive innate ability allows her to consecutively dodge a second time after the first one, being a good tool to panic dodge in certain situations when you need to. Fuck, I keep stuttering. So she's great if you want a character who's agile, and can have an amazing dexterity build, so I'm gonna put her in A tier, just below Guardian, above Ironeye. Raider! Raider is the most heavy carry in the game, being a strength Nightfarer, typically wields 2 colossal weapons at your disposal, so maximum bonkability is there. His character skill makes him basically punch, just straight up pummel his foe, which can be boosted when Raider takes damage, according to his passive ability. And his ultimate causes him to summon a giant tombstone from below, dealing huge damage and stagger points to the enemy, and also like other Nightfarers, slaying the enemy to prevent damages. Raider is ultimately the strength hero, the tankiest, just most heavy damage dealing Nightfarer in the fray. That's really about it for him. Bonking with double giant hammers is incredibly fun, I gotta tell you. Though I don't know if it's just me, though sometimes he can be a bit difficult to utilize. Something about him is just, I don't know, there's just something hard about him. Maybe he slightly has a small health pool, I don't know. But yeah, so I'm gonna put him in S tier, right below Wylder. He's just that good. And here comes Revenant, a necromancy class Nightfarer who is capable of summoning spirit ashes in battle. She can summon 3 types of ashes with her character skill, so though sometimes you may set your little summons for something unprecedented. It doesn't matter no, cause it's under your control now, is it? In addition, she can also use her ultimate to make her and nearby allies temporarily immortal, which is great. Her passive ability allows her to summon a ghost of the enemies that is slain by her or allies to just fight alongside you. She is a highly versatile Nightfarer, though with a very small health pool being very fragile, can comfortably wield a strength build if preferred. Who doesn't want to be an angry little doll wielding gigantic greatswords? Her greatest scaling is faith, so she is basically a glass cannon. It's preferred that you don't fight enemies head on and let the heavy tanks go at the foe while you are dealing huge damage from the back. She is very fun to use, so as much as I want to put her S tier, I'll have to put her in A tier below Guardian, or actually, no, I'll put her at the top. Yeah, that's it. She is very close to S, but just not quite because of her health pool. Recluse. Alright, no jokes this time. Recluse is a mage class Nightfarer boasting in high intelligence, utilizing sorcery, so overall a spellcaster archetype. Her skill allows her to select a specific combination of elements from her elemental defense interface to utilize specific effects based on the set combination. So quite literally, she is basically the invoker from Dota 2. Literally. Her ultimate marks all nearby enemies with a temporary mark. Whenever these marked enemies get struck by allies, said allies will regain HP and FP, making it a very situational support ultimate to use. It does take a bit of time for the animations to do cast when you've made your distance. Her passive also allows her to siphon FP from allies and enemies to further power up her spells by using her skill on enemies she has already damaged. And just like Ironeye, she is meant to stay back and deal passive damage, so she is in the discussion of having one of the best DPS in the game. Also being fragile just like Revenant, so yeah, you're meant to just stay away from danger. Her huge pool of spells makes her a rather complex character in the grand scheme of things, but she has a very high DPS Nightfarer, so that is also great. So I'll put her in A tier just below Revenant. Executor. Executor is a close quarter style character wielding mainly katanas to deal juicy damage, while also being not the most tanky style character, but one of the mainline offense Nightfarers for sure. His character skill allows him to draw his own special katana, in which allows to go in his stance where he walks slowly, but allows for effective pairing with the katana. Legit Sekiro style. I mean, that's the exact same thing. Pairing certain times will empower his katana to be able to use the Ash of War style skill to dash in and deal significant amounts of damage, pairing also deals stance damage, just like in Sekiro. His ultimate turns him into a giant beast, giving him a gigantic health pool and dealing huge amount of damage as the big beast. His passive also gives him a buff every time he recovers from a status ailment, so a give and take on his part. He is a very offense heavy Nightfarer, being able to parry literally anything, going in close quarters combat dealing significant damage, and being able to transform into a giant beast, gaining health and doing a lot of damage. I mean, honestly, what more can you want out of such a character? He is literally definitely among one of the most fun I've had playing with a character, so he sits at S tier just below Wylder and right above Raider for me. Scholar. Scholar is a very support heavy character utilizing consumables to his advantage, buffing allies and debuffing enemies. His skill allows him to apply debuffs to enemies or cast on allies to give them buffs. You have to have the skill charging before the gauge fills up when applying said buff or debuff, so you need to keep your distance. His ultimate basically chains and links all nearby enemies and allies, giving a chain reaction to whatever happens to which. If an enemy takes damage, all linked enemies will also take that damage. When an ally heals, all linked allies will also heal. This passive also allows him to basically stack on the power of the items he uses. For example, if he throws a fire pot, the next fire pot he throws will be even more powerful. That's basically why you see a lot of scholars just throwing pots on the ground like literal maniacs. Seems very complicated, and while it is probably the most complex Nightfarer in the game, it's pretty simple if you understand it, and will be greatly effective if utilized in battle. So honestly, I'll put him at the bottom of S tier, yeah. Truly underrated. Some people stay away because he's complex, but his complexity is what makes him very good. And lastly, Undertaker. She is a mixed agility / strength class Nightfarer, specializing in moving swiftly while also dealing heavy damage, while also having synergy from her allies. Let me explain. First off, her character skill, it basically allows... Her character skill basically allows her to move at sprinting speed without actually sprinting, so you're not consuming any stamina if you need to keep your distance with the boss in battle. It also increases her defense and damage as well, giving her quick dodge, sort of like Duchess. And her ultimate allows her to speed, fly towards the target and strike, dealing a lot of damage and staggering them on the spot. In contrast, her passive ability gives an additional ultimate art charge whenever nearby allies use their own ultimate, so she can basically activate her ultimate 3 times consecutively. She is one of the mainline offense characters, providing great offense and agility at the same time, making her a great pick for those looking to deal lots of damage and being evasive at the same time. Not tankiest character, but also not the most fragile. Lots of potential. Honestly, a very solid pick for a character. So I'll put her at right below Revenant in A tier. That's good. Or on second thought, I like Wylder so much, I'm giving him his own tier. There, I'm gonna put Wylder at Wylder tier. My boy. So there you have it. That's my tier list ranking of all the Nightfarers from Elden Ring Nightreign. To summarize, there really is no bad Nightfarer. They are all good. FromSoft have really outdone themselves with balancing every character so that there's not really any obvious choice to choose. It's all down to preference. Every character is basically good in their own right. Let me know if you agree or disagree down in the comments. And if you want to know what your Nightfarer main says about you as a person, click on this video right here.